The opinions expressed on Tomahawk Talk do not reflect those of WVFS Tallahassee.
All right, the Rays reclaim their throne on top of the American League. Luke Laux is turning Florida State into an NBA factory. The Jailblazers are officially back, and Japanese tourists' love affair with chips and salsa and Texas Roadhouse has officially come to an end. All of that and more to come tonight as we welcome you back into another episode of Tomahawk Talk. I'm your host, Gia Ciaccio, joined by my co-host, Cole Kruger, as well as our panelists tonight, Will McBroom, Francisco Garcia, and Trey Pope. No Collins today because we're not live from 420 Diffenbaugh, but don't be shy. Feel free to leave your thoughts on a comment on our YouTube or any of our other socials. Before we get into the bulk today, I want to give our quick thoughts on a couple of the transfer portal updates. We've seen a lot depart from Florida State and a couple, transfers coming into Florida State. We talked about Issa Torres already. Feel like a big buzz name we've been talking about is Jason E. Beecham. We've seen her posts about pretty much every single offer she's gotten. She's made it very clear on her Instagram. But Will, I want to throw that to you first because obviously she decided to go to Texas Tech, and that was kind of the only place where we were unhappy with her going. So I want to hear your thoughts on that first.
I'm happy for her. Okay, I'm happy for her, getting on what's a perennial league title contending team at this point, clearly getting much more money than she was going to get at FSU. But no, I'm not happy for Texas Tech. I don't like, again, I feel like I'm more on the progressive end with portal related stuff, but like I wasn't mad about Texas getting Issa Torres because like even with Texas, they're still picking players in a way, whereas Texas Tech redoes their entire roster pretty much yearly. It feels like just
giving people a blank check. Yeah.
Completely just essentially picking mercenaries from across the country to just come form some sort of dream team. I do love that they do that and they still don't win. That has been a great pleasure to watch. But yeah, I'm happy for Beecham, and it's not surprising to see that be the decision. But yeah, not happy for the fans in Lubbock at all.
I'm not unhappy for her. I think she obviously had a plethora of options, great programs that she could have gone to. I think Texas Tech probably gave her a good amount, and I'm sure she wants to win. Obviously, I agree with you. I think it's funny. Texas Tech has gone back twice, and as much as they're spending, they still can't pull it off. And Texas is here back to back, potentially getting a three-peat after getting Issa Torres. But yeah. Cole, how we feel about Hunter Carnes going to Georgia? That was a big one that I didn't necessarily expect to leave from Florida State. Obviously, he got so much playing time. He was our go-to guy behind the dish, but he wants to play for the SEC now. I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, I'm in the same situation as Will with Beecham. Like, good for him. He's, I think, taking a step up at this point in baseball pedigree, going to UGA, especially with the season Daniel Jackson just had behind the plate. It's hard not to say he's going to be in a better position to succeed. But I actually was just looking. I didn't even realize Mookie Rodriguez transferred as well because I love Mookie Rodriguez going into last season. Yep.
Wow, guys, he follows us on all of our platforms. He follows our Instagram, TikTok. Like, wow, I hope he doesn't unfollow us. I didn't even know he entered the transfer portal. Where'd he go?
I did not know either. He just entered on June 20th, so 9 days ago. But I was coming into this saying, good, who's going to play catcher for us for FSU next year? And I obviously go straight to Mookie Rodriguez because he didn't really play last season at all, but as a highly touted recruit, I was looking forward to seeing what he could do behind the dish. And I just go on FSU Wire and he is entered the transfer portal. So I have no clue.
It's a good source.
Yes.
I thought that he was redshirted, if anything, which makes less sense why he would transfer. I definitely thought that he would be the first nod to catch next year. But that's odd. I mean, I don't really know if it's something to do with playing time or maybe they see the FSU players that are coming in and they're probably finding a catcher in the portal somewhere that has a bat like Hunter Carnes. So I don't know. Maybe that's what it was. But yeah, Jake Eccles is going to GCU. I'm not really upset about losing him out of the bullpen. I think it's good for him. He'll probably get more playing time. But FSU just signed an infielder from Indiana, Cooper Malamazian. I don't want to mispronounce his name, but I'm so sorry. This is the first time reading your last name out loud. I will get better at it, I promise. But I'm looking forward to him. He's I believe he's like over 6 foot. Let me double check that. Yeah, he's 200 pounds. He's 6'4", and he's an infielder. He's going to be a junior. I think he's going to be replacing Gabe Frazier, Cal Fisher, whoever they wanted in that shortstop role. And I think he's got a bigger at bat than Gabe Frazier did. So looking forward to him. But with that, we will get into some more FSU players that have been drafted and signed professionally. The NBA season wrapped up a couple weeks ago, but the NBA is staying quite relevant with the 2026 draft just taking place and some insane trades. Starting off, most importantly, Lajae Jones gets drafted as the 54th of 60th overall pick and will be a Golden State Warrior. I mean, wow. 3 incoming transfers under Luke Laux are now playing professionally. You have Robert McCray, the 5th, who signed an Exhibit 10 contract with the Lakers. Chauncey Wiggins signs a summer league contract with the Celtics. And Lajae Jones gets, drafted right next to Yaxel Lendeborg. And now they're, making the rounds as Golden State Warriors. You see Lajae on FaceTime with Jimmy Butler asking for his number. Like, how big is this for FSU beyond just these players? I'll open that up to anybody.
I'm so happy even before I get into that, I'm so happy for Lajae, and especially for Rob and Chauncey too. I remember throughout the season, I think Rob was the most steady in terms of just being that offensive hub. Chauncey was super inconsistent. It was kind of just dependent on whether the three-point shot was hidden or not. Lajae, I really liked Lajae just because of when he's not scoring, I still felt like he was able to impact winning. We're talking about a good size. What is he, 6'8", 6'9"?
He's 6'7".
Almost 6'7".
Huge.
Yeah, and was just able to defend so many different positions. And extremely happy. The moment where he's asking for Jimmy Butler's number, I thought he was going to go undrafted and then he'd sign with someone and compete for a roster spot that way. So to get outright drafted, props to him. But in terms of what it means for FSU, I mean, I don't know how many people in this world that I don't know personally that I love more than Luke Laux right now. Just the excitement I have going into the basketball season. It's something when I came to FSU, football, we were coming off of 13-0, and I was like, wow, this is going to be, the best sport while I'm here. And not to say that basketball is going to reach that level and we're going to win a national championship, but just the upwards trajectory. It's just everything since January has just gone right, whether it's in the season, whether it's in the transfer portal, whether it's recruiting, and now the NBA draft, and seeing that turn into real results and sending guys to the pros. And these are guys that I want to say this as respectfully as possible, but this was a throwaway roster. This was year one, let's just see what happens.
Jay Jones came from St. Bonaventure or Bonaventure, whatever.
Right.
These were he changed his bio. I love it. JUCO product. These kids, like Luke Laux, what an easy pitch to go recruit and say, hey, look what I did for these guys. What? And this is gonna turn 2027 or 2026 FSU basketball, 2026, 2027 FSU basketball. I mean, we've already seen what he's done in the transfer portal. And yeah, this is huge for FSU basketball. And I'm not surprised at all that Lajae got drafted. I think he was such an underrated player. He had that 10-3 game, I remember. And he was just so great. He was such a great two-way player. So I'm very happy for him. But yeah, Will, how do you feel about Chauncey with the Celtics? I thought you said you were really happy for him for that.
He's dead to me. Yeah, I'm sorry. Once you step foot in Boston, I can't have. And they've had plenty of players. I watched Derek White play. I'm like, oh, this is the exact type of player that I should enjoy. But no, I mean, you step foot in Boston, I can't feel any sort of positive way about you anymore. So I can't say congratulations to Chauncey Wiggins, but I'm happy for Lajae and Robert for sure.
Yeah. Speaking on Robert just a little more, I feel like it coincides well with Austin Reeves, obviously getting extended. He's the highest paid undrafted player in NBA history. Feel like Robert McCray has got to be licking his chops thinking of that. That could be me. Maybe I'll get a 2-way contract and become the next Austin Reeves. But yeah, there was a lot that happened in there's a lot that's been happening in NBA offseason that you've covered graveyard-wise. But I want to hear your thoughts just one more time briefly on Giannis and being in Miami now.
I guess if I have to talk about it, then I guess I could talk about it a little bit more. This trade, look, there's been some really just stupid reactions out there that act like this doesn't do anything. One of the things that I've heard is Miami depleted their roster to do this. First of all, they depleted supposedly a roster that sucked. Okay, so I don't really care. It was a bad roster. Also, you lose Tyler Hero. There's not been a significant game that Tyler Hero has played in since like the bubble finals. That guy is hurt all of the time. You lose Hawkes. I don't love that. You do bring in Bobby Portis too as another addition of the trade. You lose Khalil Ware, who Spo didn't even want to play in the first place, and then you lose Kasper Jonas. What are we talking about? Depleting the roster, and it's like you'd think from the way they talk about it that the Heat just aren't allowed to sign any more players. They're like this is the roster, what they have right now. It's weird. They wouldn't even have enough players to play a game, so I don't know how that's going to work. So that's been short-sighted. The Heat aren't going to win the finals, barring some catastrophic injuries to like 3 different teams and then a lot of luck next year. Giannis, I mean, what? He's got 3 years at worst, probably, of still that top tier level play that you need. They're going to be able to surround him with a lot of good pieces. They took a Jimmy Butler led team to the finals twice. I think the Heat should be able to win the Eastern Conference at some point, knowing how that front office operates over the next few years. Francisco, I'm not saying this year, all right. And I think that,
Francisco, you had your year. You had your year.
Exactly.
Like, you're good.
I'm still enjoying it.
One year is crazy. All right.
But
it just happened.
I will say there's been a little bit of an overreaction, I will say, on the other side too, where the Heat are 3rd in the odds, if I'm not mistaken, to win the Eastern Conference. They shouldn't be ahead of Indiana.
Ooh, no
right
more
now.
play-in tournament.
Thank God. They shouldn't be ahead of Indiana right now. I don't think they should be ahead of Detroit. Maybe as currently constituted, but Detroit's going to get some other guys too. I'd put them ahead of Cleveland, who we could talk about Cleveland later too. They're out of their minds. But yeah, love the trade. Pat Riley finally does what everybody loved, and everybody's just mad because they love making fun of Pat Riley for not being able to land the whale, and he finally did it. So what are they going to talk about now? I guess.
Yeah.
What they're going to say now?
I don't want to do all that because I still think Pat Riley, like the toughest thing wasn't getting Giannis. To me, I feel like the toughest thing is surrounding Giannis with pieces now. The roster isn't bad. Like the starting lineup was what? Davion Mitchell, Norman Powell, if you get him back, Wiggins, Giannis, and Bam.
Yeah.
Like that's a defensively, that's elite. Like that is the best defensive lineup you have. Offensively, we start to get into things where it's like, who's creating offense other than Giannis? And like, I get it. Bam, 83. It was fun. It was cute. It was adorable. Like it's done.
I know.
Like now you have to win games. And not to say that Bam's a bad player, but as your second option, like you need another creator. But I see what you're saying in terms of in the next coming years, this should be a team that competes in the Eastern Conference. And the Eastern Conference has just been like, what? It's the Celtics one year. It's the Heat with Jimmy Butler. It's the Knicks. It's like the Pacers. There's a lot of parity in the Eastern Conference, so I wouldn't even rule out something this year. Again, you have to see what Pat Riley does in this offseason because I feel like this is really when the clock is now ticking. I feel like before there was the steady 8th seed, play in, 9th seed, play in. But now there's real pressure. So hopefully, I don't know if Norman Powell's going to resign. I saw Wiggins resign today, so that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, Powell. If they somehow find some team that's stupid enough to take Jovic's contract, which I don't know who would do that. Jovic, that guy, bad player. But and the way I've seen it tweeted about too is like, oh, the Heat might be willing to give up on one of their young prospects. I'm like, what do you mean? They gave up on him when they didn't play him in the regular season last year, so they tanked his value completely. But if they can somehow move off of that, they could re-sign Powell maybe. Otherwise, it just sounds like they're not going to have the money. You might go for some other guys and just try and go, a guy like Duncan Robinson, where maybe now with the just defensive ability of other guys, you don't have to worry as much about the fact that he's not going to help you at all on that end, and he'll get a lot more open shots. But that's definitely something that I think will hold them back at the beginning of this for sure. But I did like re-signing Wiggins.
One more I really want to get into. Obviously, LaMelo Ball to the Timberwolves in exchange for Naz Reid, a 2033 unprotected first-round pick, 3 first-round pick swaps and 3 second-round picks. Obviously, that's absurd. But
they just do stuff. They're just doing something to do something. Like what? The Timberwolves are in such a bad spot now. Anthony Edwards is going to leave eventually. It's Francisco. Okay,
I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see him and LaMelo Ball as teammates. Wait, why do you think he's leaving?
When LaMelo plays, yeah, sure. If LaMelo's not hurt out there, he's gonna love LaMelo just chucking up those stupid 40-foot threes he does for no reason.
Wait.
What, Francisco?
Are you saying LaMelo Ball isn't good at basketball? Is that what you're saying right now?
I'm saying he is not going. They have gotten worse as a team over the past by getting rid of.
Actually, I feel so passionate about this that I looked up LaMelo analytics because I've seen what you've said and I've seen what a lot of people say. The Charlotte Hornets since January 1st were 33-16. Now you're probably oh, Concanipple, Brandon Miller. There were other factors that went into this. LaMelo Ball is one of the best offensive engines just in terms of pure offense and running and efficient offense. We're not even talking about just scoring. The shots get absurd. I'm going to be honest, the half court, where he's shooting with 2 hands. He's shooting like me when I was 10. I get it looks weird and it feels weird, but the 5th best offensive rating for the season. The defense, we don't have to talk about it. Offensive rating. Points per 100 possessions, 125.8 with LaMelo on, with him off 112. That's a 13-point difference. LaMelo, Con, and Brandon Miller on the floor together were a plus 15.1. If it was just Con and it was just Brandon Miller, a -7. That is a plus a 22-point swing. I get the defensive concerns, and the only way I can understand the Hornets doing this is if they have concerns about LaMelo's health. And they want to get ahead of the curve. He just had his healthiest season.
Why wouldn't they?
He just had his healthiest season, and you just were the best team. I don't want to say the best team in basketball.
So high.
So high there. But you're taking a ginormous chance for a franchise that has had little success. The goal isn't championship right now. Make the playoffs. Win a playoff series. When was the last time? Have the Hornets ever won a playoff series? In history?
At some point, LaMelo certainly hasn't. I think here's the thing with Minnesota about this trade too. First of all, I think, and I don't like Julius Randle, but I think they got worse in a few ways. You forfeited by getting rid of Reed and Randle. You're going super small at this point where, Gobert is still there. Yay. For a team that needs to be built to be able to challenge the Spurs and the Thunder, I don't know how you're improving in that way. I don't like this as a move for a team that needed, and I don't know what they could have done necessarily. That I think they were just there's this feeling they had to do something for Ant. I don't know if you'd be better off waiting till next year when you could have gotten somebody who could have made more of a difference there, but I don't like it in terms of the setup of improving their team. And also they were built in a way where they were, kind of specifically built to stop Denver. I don't know if they're really even in a position to be able to do that currently.
Beat Denver? They just beat Denver.
Well, I know, with that team that they had.
Man, I love Julius Randle, but
I don't.
I was seeing reports. That the Timberwolves are thinking that it would be addition by subtraction. Getting Julius Randle off the roster was just better. I see what you're saying. Do I think they're competing with the Thunder or the Spurs? No. But it's just about getting closer. There were the rumors about other GMs looking in on the situation with Anthony Edwards and saying, within the next coming years, it's something that they'll monitor. I think getting LaMelo Ball makes you better. I don't think you're on that level, but again, like you said, what were they going to do? And I don't think the value is bad at all. It's Naz Reid, a 2033 unprotected first, 3 swaps. The 3 swaps, let's be honest, in the next coming years, are the Hornets going to be better than the Timberwolves? Those swaps are basically meaningless. When it comes down, again, a lot can happen in the next 5 or so years. But I think for the value and trying to swing big, and Anthony Edwards has never had a playmaker like LaMelo.
That is the part that I like. Yeah.
Offensively, you get it there, and then you still have Jaden McDaniels. You still have Rudy Gobert, who is probably a top 3 defensive player in the NBA. So I think it gets them closer. Do I think it gets them to that level? I think they're better than Denver. The only 2 I will put over them is OKC and San Antonio. But what
about a potential Golden State dream team?
Listen, if they can stay healthy, sure. But I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
don't know.
will Phoenix
Do you
chill
guys see that
out
video
too?
of Yaxel
No, what happened?
of him saying like about like him getting playing time? Like he's like,
Not
yeah,
anymore.
yeah. But that was
Yeah,
funny.
he's
Like
Which was
not.
a crazy
zero.
quote in the first place. Like he basically called the whole team trash, which I get it.
He
He's not
did
completely
zero
wrong.
PR training.
At all, and it's awesome. It's great. What did you think, Francisco? The other trade that the Hornets made, moving off of Miles Bridges, because Phoenix is just I don't know what they're doing right now or why they're really doing anything.
I don't know why they're doing. I thought they were cool, just like where they were. I didn't think they needed to move off. Who'd they move off of? Grayson Allen and Royce
Royce
O'Neal.
O'Neal, yeah.
Miles Bridges is just like a nothing player to me.
I heard
Like he's
described
not
as he's always been a better player in theory than he actually is.
absolutely. What's he shooting? Like 46% from the field as a, like he didn't even shoot threes like that. So I don't know. Like it's a very nothing move to me. I don't think it makes them that much better. I don't think it makes them that much worse. It's just like just hitting buttons at the end of the day.
Moving back to sports that are currently going on. I'm actually a little confused. I have the Germany-Paraguay game going on behind. Obviously, it's elimination round. The group stage of the World Cup has concluded with the round of 32 beginning yesterday. Team USA clinched Group D, but dropped their final match that didn't matter anyways against a horrible, already eliminated Turkey team,
Turkey.
3-2. So sorry. The knockout stage began yesterday, and every match is now win or go home. South Africa and Japan were the first to be eliminated, and Germany and Paraguay are currently in extra time. They're tied at 1-1. I thought Germany scored, Trey. Why was their goal retracted?
Got called back. VAR. Germany committed a foul in the box. I'm not entirely sure what happened. I didn't see what the foul was, but I saw the ref going to the VAR like booth on the sideline. Yeah.
Tough.
So
yeah.
still
Well,
1-1.
it's still 1-1 in extra time at just hit 119 minutes, and they'll do two 15-minute halves to see who scores, and then they'll go into PKs. But realistically, I know Team USA has never, been like in the running to win ever, but this is the best we've seen the team, and we've kind of talked about that before they lost to
1930. We got third place. All right. The first ever
in
World
the
Cup,
inaugural World
place.
Cup, which you mentioned yourself that half the European teams couldn't even fly to the World Cup, which gave us the third place dub, you could say, I guess, almost 100 years ago. But this is obviously the best Team USA has looked. I thought.
I would agree, 100%.
But they just lost to Turkey. They're 3-2 after they lost every single game. Like they basically did not need. They could have sat crisscross applesauce on the pitch, we'll call it, for the entire for the entire game, and it wouldn't have mattered. They could have tied, and it would have been whatever. But Turkey is like, I want to have some pride. I'm not going home completely winless. And USA, like I thought this was going to be easy money for them, but they lost 3-2. Are you concerned about that, or are you just kind of like, whatever? It didn't matter, it didn't matter for the tournament, so it's not going to matter for me.
The only negative takeaway I would take from that game is that our depth is concerning, and that's because of the 11 starters against Turkey. Only one of them played in the first two matches, so it's essentially the USA B team. And so obviously it's concerning to see that we don't have the high level world class players on our bench. But we're the United States. We're not expected to have world class players on our bench. Like our starting 11 is the best they have been, like you were saying, arguably ever. And so I understand being concerned with the Turkey loss, but at the end of the day, it was tied for majority of the game. We lost in the 96th minute of a 98-minute game. Turkey, I believe, started everyone. That's important. They were playing their essential A team, and having our B team. I'm gonna mentally or analytically, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna call that a draw because we were tied with them for the majority of the game, and it was our B team against their maybe not A team, but starter and a half team. I'm not concerned with that loss at all headed into the knockout round at all. It's a nothing burger.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess they're just preserving literally everybody. But they play their first knockout game on Wednesday against Bosnia at 1 p.m. or 8 p.m.
8
this
p.m.
Wednesday, and hopefully they're in it. So
I mean, yeah, I'm
we'll be
expecting
looking
Bosnia.
forward.
Yeah, like we should beat Bosnia pretty easily. I mean, I'm saying that with as much humility as I can as a USA Soccer fan. Like we've only won one knockout match, and I'm not going to say franchise history, but like national team history. Um, and with the expanded tournament, this is the first time there's been a 32 team bracket. So I'm expecting us to like the standard bare minimum for the US at the World Cup has always been round of 16. So if
Yeah,
we just get to the round of 16, which is what we should do, and I assume we'd face Belgium, and that would be the
yeah.
first tough match, I suppose.
That's what the expanded tournament makes it interesting too, because then you see teams like Brazil and Japan who played earlier. That was a great game, and Japan's eliminated already. I know Japan hasn't like notoriously been a good team, probably better than USA though. Um,
Yeah, I'd
and
agree.
you know, yeah. Any updated predictions on who's winning? I know you were pretty keen on France, but is that still your number one?
I mean, yeah, if anything, like I would have Germany take a step back. I mean, we saw the USA beat Paraguay pretty convincingly, and obviously Paraguay is going to play with more intensity. It is a knockout round, but taking, I believe, I wasn't paying 100% attention. I do have the game on in the background as well, but I think they're going to PKs right now. That is an incredible testament to Paraguay's resilience and also almost a step back for Germany. Like Germany was rated pretty highly coming into this tournament, and if they're taking Paraguay to penalties, that's a little concerning for German fans. But I mean, as far as winning it all, I still feel pretty confident saying France has the highest chance. It's just the way their roster is constructed. Like they won it all in 2018, lost in 2022 in the final, and then since 2022 have only gotten better. Mbappe's in his physical prime. He's 27 years old, a goal scoring machine. Like it's hard to say anyone but France is coming away with the trophy this year.
All right. Well, we will tune in to Team USA this Wednesday at 8 p.m. Hopefully, not for the last time for another 4 years. Now, getting into this long awaited conversation, very tough to talk about, obviously. FSU football is coming up. We're only a couple months away from the 2026 college football season, a few weeks until fall camp begins. And after the past two letdown seasons, or I guess I could say three, but more two. The past two letdown seasons, I think FSU fans are ready to see a team that looks even half like Florida State again. A lot of new additions to the roster, but there are still plenty of questions that need to be answered before week one. Cole, I'm going to ask you this first. Are you satisfied with Ashton Daniels? Obviously, there was the battle with him and Kevin Sperry through spring. I don't know how confident I feel with a redshirted senior, having a tough competition against a redshirted freshman, and getting the late nod. Are you satisfied with Ashton Daniels as the QB1?
I mean, I don't think anyone can sit here and say I'm satisfied or not satisfied yet, especially only because they're in summer camp. I wouldn't even call it a competition between Sperry and Ashton Daniels because they were in camp for 2 weeks and then Mike Norvell went out and named Ashton Daniels the starter, which I've been saying I'm not surprised. We all know Mike Norvell is fighting and coaching for his job this year. So they're going to go out. They're going to get someone in the portal. It just happened to be Ashton Daniels. And of course, he's going to start Ashton Daniels. It's a guy who has experience and a solid track record starting at the D1 level. And for a guy like, if FSU
solid track record, but he's not. I don't know. Sorry, continue. He doesn't have a solid track record, though. I feel like
he wasn't bad at Stanford, and he didn't get a lot of playing time at Auburn. But in those 2 games he started down the stretch last year, I know he looked fine, but out of the guy, like
that's not a solid track record, though.
I mean, it's a better track record than like DJU or Tommy Castellanos had before. Like Tommy came in basically. Yeah. Ashton Daniels and Tommy are coming in with it. Like they're very similar play style, similar build. And they both had very bad turnover.
Wait, what? Tommy and Ashton? You say they play the same and they have similar build?
Well, Tommy runs a lot more than Ashton Daniels does.
I was going to say, Ashton Daniels, his deep ball sucks, and he's going to have to. He's not going to run. He's 6'3", 250. He's not going to run like Tommy Castellanos.
No, but he's got wheels a little bit. He's again not DJU. We're gonna
he's a
keep going back to
dual
that
threat
well.
quarterback that doesn't have a very strong arm and is very prone to turning the ball over. It's pretty much you're trotting out a very similar quarterback to Tommy Castellanos, except
But he's
Tommy was a
taller.
lot faster. He is taller, yes.
Taller. We're
Significantly.
moving in the right direction.
That is true. Yeah.
My issue is them naming Ashton Daniels the starter in spring camp, and like you don't even get to summer, and we haven't even mentioned Malachi Marshall's name, who I have not heard good things about coming out of spring, but I was very high on him just after seeing like what Trinidad Chambliss did at Ole Miss. Like, why not give Malachi Marshall a nod at least in the summer to maybe compete for a starting job? I mean, the guy just won the JUCO national championship and was the MVP and the offensive player of the year. So maybe we think about giving him a chance in the spring or in the summer. But I guess not. My whole thing with the quarterbacks is Ashton Daniels, I think, should be on an extremely short leash, like going into the year. And in that first game against New Mexico State, shout out Will for the Lobos, but they should be rotating all three quarterbacks.
New Mexico State's the Aggies. Come on.
Oh, sorry.
That's the arch rival. Don't make those sorts of comparisons.
But in that game, all three quarterbacks should be rotating. So when you go into SMU in week 2, you have an idea of who should be under center and confident of who is taking snaps at quarterback.
Like Sperry being the third?
Like you're saying Sperry would be the third string quarterback?
Yeah, you want Malachi Marshall to be the second string?
I think FSU is going to do that weird thing on the depth chart where it'll be a starter and then it'll be 2 guys and there's going to be the bold or in between them. That's what it should be on the depth chart.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't feel too confident about him. I don't feel too confident about FSU football overall. I think I'm going into this with like the utmost least expectations, especially with Ashton Daniels. He's like, he throws picks regularly. Like he's not, he doesn't, his completion rate is cheeks. I'm sorry, but it is like
Stanford sucks too. Okay, Stanford's not surrounding him with anybody.
Even at Auburn last year, a 57.1% completion rate. He's had 3 touchdowns in 119 attempts.
I will also
a 2.5 touchdown percentage.
That Alabama game, they dropped every single pass that was thrown their way for Auburn. I'm not saying he is much better than what you're saying, but I think you're being a little bit hard on him. I think he's going to be better than Tommy. I mean, I think that's not.
I just think it's a completely different quarterback game. Like it's different. Like Tommy ran.
If
Ashton's
you're not
run.
confident in Ashton Daniels coming into this season, you shouldn't have been confident in Tommy Castellanos coming into last season.
That wasn't.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Francisco,
I'm with Will though. Don't knock Ashton Daniels before he gets on the field because he brings experience and a D1 track record.
I feel like I'm kind of in the middle between you guys. I feel like Cole and Will, you guys are saying he's experienced. Gia, you're saying he's unexperienced. I feel like there's like a little medium where like, yes, he's more experienced than Kevin Sperry. Is he as experienced as Tommy or someone else? No. But I think that's like the fun part in it. I'm going to be honest. I'm kind of excited because I've kind of like, we went 5-7 and then it's just been like anytime anybody brought up football, there's just like a groan that comes with it and nobody wants to talk about it. And that was the first time I'm talking about it in 6 months. So there's a little bit of like, okay, my expectations are down here. So anything but up, you know what I mean? Like there's so much room. And I am so excited about Deuce Robinson and Mekhi Danzey going into year 2.
You literally took the words out of my mouth. I was like, everyone's excited about them. They're obviously going to be difference makers, and we'll get into this a little more, but I think Ashton Daniels being a difference maker is the one thing that'll keep Norvell's job. Like that,
yeah.
I mean, I was just going to agree with what Francisco's saying, like a middle ground sort of situation where like, yeah, Ashton Daniels has experience, but like, is it good experience? Like when you learned that we landed Ashton Daniels, was anyone like, yeah, SEC quarterback? Like,
no, his stats say otherwise, and that's why it's exciting because it's fun to start at rock bottom because there's only one way to go up. Like that's why it's exciting because you can't get any more. For sure,
they will have a worse record than that.
But I feel worse than I did after 2-10 because we had the 3-0 number 8 and then we fell. 2-10, it was like, okay, by October we're checked out. And
Well,
plus,
also
I'm gonna be honest,
2-10 was following the 13-0 season. Now we've had 2 years of mediocre football, and it's like we're
yeah,
we're not a good program in a
It's not
down
even
year.
it's not even mediocre. It's
Yeah,
bottom of the
awful.
barrel, below average
please, like, find me
football product.
one person in Tallahassee that likes Mike Norvell that is outside of his family and outside of that building, please. And that is all due respect. Mike Norvell could be a sweetheart. He could every encounter I've had
Oh,
with
I
him,
feel
he's the
bad for him as
nicest.
a human
Best
being. I feel
He's
bad for him.
he could be amazing, a candy cane. But like, who's excited? And I look at this as like a throwaway year. Like, yeah, let's get this last year of Mike Norvell out the way. If he surprises us, he surprises us, and he stays, or he doesn't, and he's gone, which is what we wanted. Like after the Stanford game, I checked out of Mike Norvell, and I'm like, yeah, like they just don't have the money to move off of him, and we've all been in that kind
Now
of
they
stage where
really don't have the money whatsoever.
They have
And
it. They have it. They had it last year. They had it at the end of the year, and they decided not to fire him. That's been reported.
oh really? Oh
Yeah.
well,
They decided just to take, I guess, 10 million off of that and go ahead and try and make it to where they're not
well,
completely.
especially now, like I know, honestly, I really don't think Florida State cares about any other sport besides their revenue football sport, which at this point, with how I was about to curse, horrible FSU football has been, yeah, you need to get your revenue sport back. And now you have every other non-revenue sport tanking. You're losing your big name players, and you're going to lose all FSU fans as a whole entire fan base. Obviously, them prioritizing FSU football money-wise, like, makes sense, but like, you can't keep Mike Norvell. If you have the money to spread the wealth, like, why are you? He sucks. I'm sorry. He's the worst recruiter. Like,
Wow.
I said it, Will.
Dang. All right. One thing was, I think they should have fired him at the end of the season last year. But one thing was the amount of other jobs that were open. You weren't going to be able to match anything that Florida, LSU, even Ole Miss, a lot of those other teams were going to be able to do. They went after Lane Kiffin. They told Lane Kiffin, "We'll give you whatever you
You're
want."
not getting a Lane
Yeah.
Kiffin in this situation.
But
ever.
that was the one thing that they would have gone ahead and fired Mike Norvell and said, "Okay, we'll find the money." But yeah, that just wasn't going to happen. So in the end, they were like, "Well, let's just mail it in completely on this year." That's why their spending was cut so much on this team, and why Florida State is only outspending Boston College and Pitt out of the teams that they play from the Power Four this upcoming year.
I mean, would James Franklin think that Florida State's better than Virginia Tech if both those jobs are open for him?
Probably, but also Virginia Tech did that earlier on. I don't know if they were ready to make a decision. They should have been, and also Virginia Tech did offer a good amount. I don't know if FSU looked at James Franklin and said he was going to be better than maybe somebody they can get this upcoming cycle. I don't know who they'd have in mind looking around at the coaching landscape, but James
Hartline.
Franklin, I don't disagree. If it goes well, I don't disagree. James Franklin is somebody that I was talking about this on Early Returns, by the way, earlier today. Everybody go listen. But is the best floor raiser in the sport, and then you just stay there. Okay, you're not.
That's
going
still
to,
an improvement.
It's an
on Florida
improvement.
State.
It's an improvement. Do you not think you can get somebody better?
I mean, as far as established coaches during that cycle, I wouldn't agree that there is someone better than James Franklin who would want to come to Florida State.
That's why I wouldn't do it in that cycle. Would be if that was the argument. Because I mean, I think for Virginia Tech, he's perfect. Virginia Tech can get 9 wins every year, and they're thrilled. I think Florida State, you'd find yourself with a rough decision in the future, which, to his slight credit, Alfred can be forward thinking in a way that could be beneficial in the future. It sucks right now, and I don't think it's actually going to work out the way he does in a lot of facets. But I think that's probably what that decision came down to.
Bro, if we get 9 wins, I will do backflips in the
It's
studio
impossible.
on the table.
It's impossible.
I like in FSU merch head to toe. Like I will come in with just FSU socks to my knees doing backflips. I don't know. I don't know.
Gia, can we play
I'm
Find the
excited to go
Wins?
to
I'm clipping that.
Clip it.
Is that-
Clip it. I will do it.
Can we play Find the Wins on the schedule here, because I'm having trouble finding more than 4. New Mexico State, that's a win. SMU, does anyone think that's a win?
Yes.
That Louisville's the most important
Monday
game,
night.
in my opinion.
Louisville beat
Louisville-
the crap out of them. Louisville will
100%,
destroy.
100%. But that is the most important game of the season. If we were to somehow win that, that's my Super Bowl. Is
I
what I'm saying.
think
I don't care if we
Brief
have never
interruption.
win.
Brief interruption. Germany and Paraguay are going to a second round of PKs for their knockout
Wow. Wait,
match.
why did it just turn off? I had it on. Hello.
They both only made 3 in the first round of PKs. So continue.
Wow. Germany's got to be pissed right now that their goal got retracted. But
so. I'm going to
for sure.
argue
back to
with,
FSU football. Sorry.
I'm going to argue with Francisco and say SMU is a loss because it is. Alabama, based on recent trends, maybe not, but I'm going to go loss there. So that's 1 and 2. Central Arkansas, Mike Norvell's alma mater. I think that should be a win. Should be. Virginia at home. That's actually a very important game, I think, in terms of being a swing game. I like the acquisitions Virginia made in the offseason, but I want to be fair and not be too pessimistic, so I'll say that's a win. So now you're 3 and 2. You go at Louisville on a Friday night. You're going to lose by 50 points. No. Incorrect, Francisco. You're failing this test. Miami on the road.
He's just been really wanting to show off his backflipping skills.
You think a win against Miami, Francisco? You calling that one a win?
Miami, I'll say we lose.
Okay, so I've got us 3 and 4. Francisco has us, I think, 6 and 1. Clemson at home.
Paraguay's 1.
On how? Oh, okay. What is that? What does that impact? Is that significant or?
I mean, Germany getting knocked out is pretty huge.
Paraguay
They were on
just
the other side of
won.
the bracket from the U.S. Yeah. The second round of PKs, it's not out of 5. It's just you match each other, and so if Germany missed the first one, Paraguay got the second, and bang, that's a win. So they win in PKs 4-3. But yes, I think Germany was on the other side of the bracket. Like this game was on the other side of the bracket from the U.S., so we would only play these 2 teams in the final. So if there's a world where we beat Spain, and France on our way to the final, we wouldn't have to face Germany, which would be awesome. But that's a big if, a large if.
So Clemson's a loss, I think. But
Yeah.
You know what? I'll be optimistic again. We'll give them a win against Clemson. 4 and 4. You go on the road to Boston College, who sucks, but you're going to Boston. So you're not known to do very well up there. And then you're going on the road to Pitt on a Friday night. Let's say they split those. I think that's fair. 5 and 5. NC State at home. I think that's doable. That could be a win. You also have to consider that at this point in the season, Norvell could be gone, which might help. Who knows? So you're looking at 6 and 5. Florida, you're going to get absolutely, utterly destroyed. 6 and 6. That's the best case scenario that I just laid out there. I gave them wins against Virginia and Clemson that I don't think they're going to get. So yeah, anything more than 6 wins seems impossible to me.
What if?
Mm-hmm.
What would you grade Tommy last year? Like just on a grading scale.
C plus.
C plus. What if Ashton Daniels is a B plus?
Then
what does that record turn into?
Then you get those Virginia and Clemson wins, and if you have an offensive line that can block at all, which I'm worried about, then maybe I can give you the SMU game. Probably not, but if I'm being optimistic here,
8 wins. 8 wins.
That was 7. Still looking for the 8th.
Oh, 7? Oh. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to rule out Ashton Daniels being, I don't want to say great, but the bar with Tommy was just so inconsistent. I felt like in our big ACC games, he really struggled, but then there were other times where he just he looked like he ran the offense so well. And I will keep saying it. Mekhi Danzy, Deuce Robinson, I am so excited for that duo. I know Mekhi Danzy has the transition from gadget guy to just deep threat to being consistent too. I know there's a bit of development to go there, but I believe in it. I think
no love to Desirio Riles yet. New tight end, best in years. I feel like at least.
There we go, another piece.
I mean, what's his?
Yeah,
I'm blanking on the guy from South Carolina. Bell, Jaheim Bell was supposed to be great too, and he wasn't. So I mean, we'll see.
Jaheim Bell was not bad though.
He wasn't bad. They just didn't use him enough.
Also, Desiree Rouse is going to be in that same role as a Randy Pittman, where Pittman was a good pass catcher and not a great route runner, but the thing that made the difference for him was his blocking and his blocking in the run.
Oh, yeah.
Game. So, I mean, Desiree Rouse is going to be that same type of role, but I really like Landon Thomas. I feel like if anyone remembers his freshman year, he showed a lot of flashes. Last year, he kind of got pushed down in the tight end room. Chase Lofton as well. Like Desiree Riles is just going to be another Randy Pittman that maybe starts the season off as like a guy FSU fans flock to. By the end of the year, it's Lofton or Landon Thomas as the starting tight end.
Are they going to do the one Wildcat a game with him too? Like
Potentially, if he's
if I see that
at
if I see that Wildcat or that Danzy reverse one more time, I know Gus is gone, but like the predictable play caller, who's our play
That
caller
guy.
this year?
Norvell.
Norvell.
Yay.
Right.
You want to talk about predictable play call?
Okay. I was gonna say, okay. Well,
I actually
there
think
goes
it'll
my
be an
excitement.
improvement in one key way, which is that Gus seemed to have no idea that, hey, just because you have 8 running backs that can play doesn't mean that you should play all 8 of them and give them all 4 carries each. I think you're going to see an actual rotation that emphasizes Wisner and Chroma, which is important because they're just the best guys in that room. So I think that'll be improved. That's about all I have I mean, Malzahn also just whatever. Move on.
What's the split gonna be between them? You think?
I don't know, Cole, have you heard anything on that?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Chroma getting the bulk of the carries. From what Wisner has said a lot in the spring is that he came to FSU knowing he's not going to get the bulk of the starting, carries and stuff, and he knows that Chroma has been in the program for a year, and he looks forward to being a leader on the team, but more so being a leader and a role model for Chroma. I think it is going to be like a 60-40 split in Chroma's favor. But I love Trey Wisner. I love his speed. He's definitely faster than Chroma is, but I think it would be 60-40 in Chroma's favor. Maybe at the start of the season, Wisner, but Chroma will start rising up the ranks in terms of getting more carries, especially as the potential starter.
That pass catching is going to be really important from him too. I think out of the backfield, he's going to be a pretty big threat there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Wisner, are you talking about Wisner or Chroma?
Yeah, Wisner.
Yeah, definitely. I think Wisner is the perfect third down, like a second and long, third and medium, third and long down back. But if you're going to turn around and give the ball, you're going to run the ball up the middle on most first downs, you're giving it to Chroma because he's going to be able to grind out 4 or 5 yards per carry.
Yeah. One more little prediction for FSU football. We talked about the schedule, but I want to end, that FSU has money and, where the team will be kind of when or if or when Norvell gets fired. But what do you guys think finally needs to happen, where the record needs to be at? Like, what is the actual X factor for Norvell, the plug being pulled on him? When will, what loss do you think actually have for us to be for them to be we cannot keep him?
I'm looking at that. It'd be hard to fire him after one thing that bothers me. I mean, I think it might just be the end of the season because, if you're 2-7, is there really any use in firing him? At that point, are you really do you want to make Tony White interim coach and see what he can do? I don't think there's anything like that going on. I would look at that Clemson game being a homecoming off of Louisville and Miami and a bye week. Presumably, you're coming off of at least 2 straight losses. Let's go most optimistic. Say you've beaten Virginia and SMU, you're 4-3, and then if you lose to Clemson at home, and it's not close. I think 4-4 at that point with not much optimism going forward. I think that could be a place that you pull the plug. Obviously, if the record's worse, then certainly that could still be it as well. Other than that, I mean, I would look at that Miami spot before that, but I don't think you're going to really have proven to be bad enough. And also, can you fire a coach after losing to Miami by however many? I mean, that's what's supposed to happen. But yeah, I think it's quite possible. It's just end of the year, lost season anyways at that point. And I don't know if there's an amount of wins. Yeah, I mean, 9 wins would save his job. Probably, but I mean, you just have to look at the external too, the recruiting. He's not going to become a better recruiter because he manages to achieve with this roster. He's not really going to inspire that much more confidence because, okay, you went and got a bunch of portal guys and you saved your job when everybody gave up on you. Still weren't in Charlotte. I think 9 wins probably. I don't think 8-4 gets it done.
I don't think he'll make it to the end of the season. So I disagree with you on that, but I do agree on that October 9th through 17th range. I would even go as far as saying, say they go on the road to Louisville and Miami and you get embarrassed in both those games. And with your prediction, that would make them 3-4 going into that bye week. I think under 500 7 games into the season and your only wins come against New Mexico State, Central Arkansas, and Virginia at home. You go into a bye week thinking maybe it's time to move on. We reassess, and you hope that throughout those last 5 games of the year, you regain a little bit of momentum. Doesn't really matter who the interim head coach is because they're not going to make that guy permanent. If it is Tony White, whoever it is, but just going into that bye week, maybe as if they do get embarrassed in those 2 games. And at that point, it's like we're going to see the same thing as the last 2 years. The locker room starts to give up. The players start moping around. Norvell has that smug look on his face that he knows his job is gone. There's no reason to keep him till the end of the season if that happens. So why not get rid of him during that bye week and try to go into the last 5 weeks, riling up the locker room, maybe, light a fire under Florida State's behinds, but you try to go into those last 5 games and try to provide some momentum for the offseason, whoever you try to hire.
It might be,
say there's another coaching situation where like someone else at a big time program gets fired midseason, like another James Franklin situation. Are you really going to ride out Mike Norvell till the end of the season? Like, would that make sense in that scenario?
That's another good point where you might want to get ahead of the coaching cycle the way that Penn State had positioned themselves perfectly to be ahead there. Virginia Tech actually did. Penn State just didn't know who they wanted to hire. But yeah, that could be an argument for sure. And I also thought if Rick Stockstill's on staff and he's got decades of head coaching experience, so he might also be a guy they look at for that spot. So yeah, I could see that being an argument too.
Like his seat is also just flaming hot. There's no wiggle room. Like he's coaching for his job the second.
Is there a hotter seat in the country?
No, I don't think so.
No, absolutely not. I mean, the next guy that I don't even have anybody that comes to mind that's anywhere close. Shane Beamer's a guy who's on a hot seat.
I was going to say maybe Shane Beamer, maybe Dabo, but like Dabo's experience is one.
Yeah,
but there's no hot.
He has enough goodwill built with the program.
Yeah, I mean Beamer is at South Carolina. Like if Beamer goes 7-5, I don't see him getting fired. Whereas if Norvell did that, it's immediate.
I don't know. I feel like okay. If we're going with the schedule prediction, New Mexico State he wins. SMU they lose. Alabama, let's say they get blown out.
Okay,
it's like a 3-score game. I think he gets fired. Like the seat is already. You have to remember and like put ourselves in the November 2025 timeline. It was a conversation every week, and we were just Norvell, fired. Like we start 1-2, and it's a bad loss to Bama. It's going to be so loud. I guess you could say like Central Arkansas the next day, but like trying to put myself back in the shoes of what was it like during last season? I think the seat is just as hot, and he'd lost the fans. I can't find you a single fan that believes. I think he gets fired.
When I came to FSU, it was 2023, and I didn't have one, but there was, you wear pins on game days, like the amount of Daddy Norvell pins there were, and like genuine people, girls, not me. I'm not claiming one of them who would genuinely say like Mike Norvell is so hot. Like because they were undefeated. And now it's like, oh, he's short. He's this. And it's like, dude, the fan, like,
I mean, if
that's
your
a
standard
small
is college
percentage of it.
coaches.
Okay, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the general,
I'm gonna call this
Trey.
episode. I'm gonna call this episode. Gia says Mike Norvell sucks and is ugly.
Come on. No, I didn't say he was ugly. I just said first of all, I think it's weird that he's being talked about like that, but it's funny that now, like that, he's widely hated. He's gone from being like, why he kind of, oh my gosh, to, oh my God, he's short and ugly, ill.
That's why he didn't.
I find that funny.
At least he didn't do any of the, Todd Golden type stuff, allegedly.
Yeah. Let's, yeah. But, yeah, well,
Gee, I
hopefully
would be including that argument in my letter to Alfred that the girls think he's ugly now.
Awesome. Definitely include that. Hopefully this conversation comes to fruition or doesn't, because we've been talking pretty bad. On August 29th, when the FSU football season begins. But we'll be talking more about it future weeks to come. Now let's get into a little bit of personal team talk. We know where my heart stands with the Rays. I'll save the best for last, of course. Obviously, not saying that I'll start with the worst because I was going to start with the Knicks. Obviously, they just won the title.
Yes.
So
Can't be the worst. Can't be
definitely not the worst. Everything's looking pretty good. We got the sexy fish on the list. I know Cole's really excited to talk about them. Trey actually does not have a team next to his name. I
meant to put Yankees. I forgot to write that down.
The Yankees, who were just swept by the Red Sox and now are second in the AL East. But yes, we'll get to that very, very soon. Francisco, let's hear about them Knicks.
Oh, so it's been what, 2 weeks since it, and I still this is the first team that I've been a fan of that has won a championship in my lifetime. So I'm trying to, and I mean this in the best way, care about the offseason. I don't care if they sign, I don't know who. I'm glad they kept Landry Shamet. Mitchell Robinson is gone, which I think is fine. I think Mitchell Robinson's going to find a good home. The only thing is I feel like Mitchell Robinson's getting a bit overrated. I've seen a lot of fans kind of taking the teams where he's going to be a starting center. I think he's best fit as a backup just because of the health concerns. And I think, and the 18 minutes a game, they were super, super impactful minutes. I think if you go to 27, I don't think he plays as many games. I don't think he feels as impactful. I think the free throws become a bigger issue. Dolan doesn't want to go into the second apron. I completely agree. I've seen a lot of Knicks fans kind of bullish on that, but I'm happy with it. I think we've seen the Celtics and the Nuggets kind of get complacent and just keep the core and do whatever they can to bring it in. Before we're thinking, you got the championship, now just try and sustain that. You're going into a wide open East again where you're going to be the favorites. Super glad they didn't lose Landry Shamet, but yeah, it still feels like they won the championship yesterday, so they could do whatever in free agency, and I'll still be happy.
I mean, I agree to a certain extent as also a Knicks fan, but I feel like, and this applies to all sports, if you stay the same, then you've gotten worse. Every other team is working on getting better, and obviously seeing Shamet and Alvarado come back is huge. But I mean, as far as centers that the Knicks are going to go get to back up Cat, is there someone who's better than Mitchell Robinson? I'm sure there is. I don't want to run back the same roster, but it's still confusing. As to what exactly the next move to make is.
I just think no matter what, you couldn't bring Mitchell Robinson back just because the amount of money he completely, he raises price.
Yeah, Dolan saying they don't want to go into the second apron.
Yeah, so I don't think they're going to walk into next season with a better option. I think you're just going to find an option. Who that is, I really don't know, but we'll see.
Will, let's hear about some boxing.
Hey, anybody watch boxing
Something I'm very
this weekend?
unfamiliar with.
Nobody?
No,
Oh,
I did not.
Some great fights. Jaron Boots Ennis fighting Xander Zayas. Really good fight. Zayas ends up getting knocked out in 7. It was kind of crazy he made it there that far with the shots he was absorbing. Really young fighter, Zayas. You wouldn't normally take a fight like that for Ennis. Gives him a title at the 154 division. He's now going to seemingly look to unify maybe a fight with Sebastian Fundora next. So really fun one there. And then on Sunday, the Zuffa card on Paramount, Jose Valenzuela gets his revenge on Edwin de los Santos. Absolutely devastating knockout. Everybody go watch that. It's on the Paramount boxing page. It was crazy. I love that guy. He might fight Shakur Stevenson next. If he does do that, he will get murdered. So I kind of hope he does not do that. He'll get a lot of money though. But yeah, great weekend of boxing. Everybody check out the sport. It still exists out there.
Cole, them sexy fish.
Is it my turn?
I'm happy for you. It is your turn. I figured
Listen.
I really wanted to tee up Trey to talk about the Yankees before I go on my Rays rant. So yes, you're next.
Listen, I don't want to bore anyone with the Marlins talk because I know it happens every time. But 18-6.
No, Will, you're a Marlins fan too, right?
Okay, yeah, whatever. I'm wearing a Brave shirt at the moment. I don't know where this. Well, I do
That's
know where
fine.
this
You know
got
what?
started,
We don't. This is where I'm at with the fish because 18-6 in the month of June, best team in baseball as of right this second. In terms of in the month of June, the Marlins are the best team in baseball. by a record. So there's literally no argument against that. June is about to be over. So I don't know where the season's going to head because it's been such a great month. But listen, I'm at the point where everyone is giving flowers to the Marlins. This is a point I reach like every few years when everyone's like, oh, on the Talk of Baseball Instagram, give some love to the Marlins. Why doesn't anyone talk about the Marlins? No, I don't want anyone to talk about the Marlins. That's like a me thing. Like me and my friends get to talk about the Marlins because we live and die with every single pitch. I
That's
don't
how I
want to
feel about the
see.
Rays.
I don't want to see people on Instagram talking about the Marlins.
What
And
a
yeah,
great
go ahead, Will. What a
celebration
great.
of Sandy. They did a great job with that.
I was in the building. I was actually, if you see when they do the shot over the seats, I had my hat off, tipping my hat and clapping.
Oh, good.
You
A
and
real
like seven
fan.
other people for the first minute.
Yes, yeah, I was.
There was at
Listen,
least 10.
Okay.
it was a little
I do-
embarrassing. I mean, no doubt. But listen, we gave love to Sandy. Like I think the broadcast made it out. Well, actually, like the worst part was Joe Mack, the catcher, had to call time. Sandy was like about to throw another pitch, and Joe Mack like calls time, and then Sandy like steps off the mound, and finally they showed something on the jumbotron. But yeah, 2-0 in games that I attended last week. Beat the Rangers, have won 7 of 8 of their past series. Listen, fish are rolling. I can't feel better about the team. Besides, there are a few guys that I still heavily dislike, but I'll refrain from talking bad on the Marlins because they're playing so good.
I do want to
Keep
say
swinging.
Cole and I had an interview earlier, and he said, oh, Marlins best team in baseball when they were asking who our favorite teams were, and the person we were interviewing laughed like out.
She
like,
was
out
like, yeah,
loud, just
sure.
laughed.
That's what they always say. I'm like, oh, okay, clearly you don't know anything about baseball or the Marlins because they are the best team in baseball right now.
Those are fighting words. If someone laughed at me for saying that the Rays are those are fighting words.
Not in an
Trey,
interview.
let's hear.
I can't do that in an interview. But
Oh, what were you breaking the fourth wall? Were you interviewing someone for the FSU?
we're not going to get into specifics because
Okay.
if the person listens, I don't want to put them on blast. But
Oh, fair enough.
yes.
Fair enough. That's funny though. Got it.
Hypothetically, in a hypothetical situation, the answer to your hypothetical question is hypothetically yes.
You should write if they weren't to get accepted to the FSU, you should write number one reason, not a Marlins fan. Marlins
that'll go
hater.
over
That's
well.
the only reason.
Do that, Cole. That's a good idea.
And this person was a Mets fan also. So
Okay.
you can't be both. You can't be
their
both.
team is their team is doing horrible right now. So I guess no room to laugh. But Trey, let's hear about the
Speaking
second
of horrible New York teams.
Yeah, speaking of horrible New York teams,
Yo.
let's talk about the second team in the AL East right now, second in the AL under my Rays. How are the Yankees doing? How are they feeling after, getting swept by the Red Sox and not having Aaron Judge?
Well, if you're specifically asking how they're feeling after getting swept by the Red Sox, let's just turn the game on. It's the second inning. We've already gone to the bullpen, and we're down 3-0 to Detroit. So
Ooh.
we're not feeling great. But as far as my own feelings as a Yankees fan, I got my throw pillow right here, and I got my pennant right here, and I got my canvas right up here on the wall. I am distraught. I believe about 2 weeks ago, I said there's never been a better time to be a Yankees fan in the regular season, and I talked about how our only issues were a bullpen, and now our only issues is about the 9 players on the field, I would say, and the 9 players in the lineup. It really has not been great. Ben Rice, who is supposed to be an MVP candidate, all-star first baseman, went I think 2 for 26 against Boston or something like that. Horrific showing for the Massachusetts kid. Cam Schlittler, he's great. Love that guy. No complaints. But it's just been awful for the last about week and a half, 2 weeks. And for the last 10 minutes since we've been down 3-0 to Detroit, because Ryan Weathers is still starting for the New York Yankees. I mean, no hate to the former Ryan Weathers, but as much hate as I can give while not making Cole upset. But it's just, wow, this team has changed so much in a week. And I don't know if that's, Yankees fans are very familiar with the June swoon, where we just for some reason decide to lose 15 of 20 games. And it's been horrific. And as far as going up, I mean, Giancarlo Stanton has faced a setback in his return to the field. Aaron Judge, I mean, he's on the same timeline he has been, but he's still not back for another like month, I believe. Jazz Chisholm is awful. I mean, love that guy, but like also former
No.
Marlin.
Ooh.
He,
Hate him. Hate him.
Hate
he
Just threw
him.
got
my
ejected
Marlins.
arguing a check swing call. Like yesterday, I think it's 3 straight games where we've been no hit through 4 innings. One of them was a perfect game through 5, and one of them was a no hitter through 8, where Ahmed Rosario of all people broke it up as a pinch hitter, and he was a pinch hitter because Jazz Chisholm got ejected, and then ended up finishing out the game in left field. Like we're doing everything that the Yankees love to do, which is play players out of position. Like Jazz Chisholm, when he was acquired by the Yankees, was playing third base for some reason. It's just he's back at second now, which is his natural position until he gets ejected and Ahmed Rosario comes in. But it's just been a horrific stretch, and that was a lot of words. But like, oh my gosh, I hate the Yankees.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
very
I hate them
excited
too,
for.
but I love them
No,
right
you're not allowed to
now.
say that. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm very excited for this upcoming Yankees series in Tampa next week. I haven't bought my
Yeah,
tickets yet, but I will be there.
hopefully the Rays sweep them again at the Trop. They would have. I know they split the series in New York, but I think that they would have taken that series anyways. But can't wait to see another division sweep over the Yankees. But my Rays, first in the AL, first in the division. I could not be happier heading into the All-Star break soon. Last year my team was, similar to this, but July like ruined their season, haven't made the playoffs in a bit. This is their season. I have never felt more confident, even when I have moments of PTSD, as far as like I wasn't even mad when they got swept by the Dodgers a couple series ago. When they went down 0-2 against the Royals at home, I was getting a little scared. But then they split the series, they got the final two. They have their insane sweep. Oh, who did they just sweep? The Nationals? Why am I blanking? All the series blend together. But Ian Seymour has had a legacy. Oh yeah, the Diamondbacks. They won the series against the Nationals before, but they didn't sweep them. But they just swept the Diamondbacks at home. Junior Caminero, give him a blank check right now. I made a TikTok video that like they won't extend him because that's what the Rays do. They build these players like Junior Caminero and then they just let them free and don't keep them, and then they develop the next guy and then let them free into the league. But give him a blank check. He's had 6 home runs in the past 4 games. He's on a 4-game homer streak. He's a kid. Like, extend him now. Give him a blank check. It's now or never. The Rays are on a 5-game win streak. Like, I'm really happy about my team right now. Like I said, I've had moments of PTSD, but every time that I feel like, oh, shoot, the Rays are being the Rays again, they prove me wrong. And I'm like, okay, they get back on the saddle. And if we're comparing last year as far as records wise, because they were still doing, pretty well up and to this point of the season before they absolutely tanked after the All-Star break, the Rays starting rotation is lethal compared to last year. Our ace last year was Ryan Pepio, who got hip surgery this past year, and Griffin Jacks, our closer, has kind of been in that starting role. I don't love him as a starter, but they're moving guys like Ian Seymour into the starting role. Like, our starting pitching's insane. Drew Rasmussen's in the running for AL Cy Young. Guys, like, the Rays are going to make the playoffs. They're making it to the World Series. I'm telling you that right now. And it's fun being a fan of this team because everyone wants to say, oh, who are these guys? Like when Jonathan Aranda does well, or like Ben Williamson or Ryan Valade, and people don't even know who Taylor Walls is. Like, more people know who Junior Caminero is now, but people are like, who are these guys? It's like, these are the Rays, baby. This is what they do. So watch out October. It's going to be a big month for Tampa Bay. But with that, let's get into some winners and losers. Lots of winners and losers of the week because there was so much that went on. But Trey, you want to kick us off?
I mean, yeah, winner. I mean, I'm going to say soccer fans because World Cup, obviously. Loser, Aaron Boone. His response to the Boston sweep was awful. I just saw a stat that just popped up on the broadcast right now. The Yankees have gotten 3 hits or less in 3 straight games for the first time since 1914. So, Aaron Boone and the Yankees as my loser of the week.
Francisco? Who's your winner and loser of the week?
Winner, Luke Laux. Just what a man. And then loser, the Washington Nationals. I was talking with somebody at the office, and they made me realize that the Nationals would be the best team in their division and maybe in the National League if they could just find a way to close out a game. 2 games against the Phillies where they were, had 2 outs on them, nobody on base, and the Phillies found a way to win. So 47 save opportunities, they've blown 26 of them. Just exciting season for them, but just unfortunate.
Cole?
Yeah, I just realized I went golf with both of mine, but I got to give a quick shout out to Victor Hovland. One of my favorite things is a good classic, like 8, 9 a.m. playoff on Monday morning. And yesterday we were treated to an awesome back nine between 2 of the best players in the world. And obviously world number 1, Scotty Scheffler and Hovland. Scheffler hits like an 8-footer for par on 18. Huge fist pump. Never see a lot of emotion out of Scotty. We go to a playoff this morning. Hovland wins. Huge reaction from Hovland too. Good for him. First win in over a year. My loser, Phil Mickelson. Gonna go out on a limb. Gonna just go out on a limb and say I don't think Phil is a good guy. He is not a good person in the slightest. There was an awesome article on Scratch Golf about Phil Mickelson, about a 20-minute read. I would encourage everyone to go read it. It's a little disturbing at times, but sometimes just makes you realize that your heroes as children are not always the best people. Good for Phil winning the PGA in 2021, but ever since then, he has been on probably one of the worst declines in professional sports history. So biggest loser of the year, honestly, Phil Mickelson.
All right, my winner is a little random. Reynold Navarro. He's a pitcher for the Bradenton Marauders, but he struck out 10-4 against the Palm Beach Cardinals in a series that they were getting smoked in. So good for him. That's awesome. He's been lights out recently. And my loser, I guess my winner and loser, I did the same thing, Cole. Both are pitchers. My loser is Craig Kimbrell because the Rays were about to throw their second no-hitter in franchise history. It was a combined one. Ian Seymour had an unbelievable legacy game. Oh my God. And Craig Kimbrell lets up a 2-run homer to Carter Jensen, their rookie. It was their first hit of the night. Obviously, it was supposed to be a no-hitter, but should have left Seymour in for the 9th. Can't wait to see more of Seymour, pun intended. But Will, winner and loser of the week.
Yeah, so I'm going last year just to avoid having to transition out of bringing the vibe down. A sports media idol of mine lost his daughter this past weekend. So 28 years old, her name was Kira Sampson. Want to make it short, just there's a fundraiser called the Kira Fund that initial goal was $100,000. It has hit $360,000. She died from a glioblastoma, just a terrible, rapidly progressing form of brain cancer. So if you feel inclined to donate, if you're able to donate, if you know anyone who could, I think that's a silver lining to just the worst type of event that can happen there. So that's again, not trying to kill the vibe, but just an awful thing, and hopefully a positive thing that can come from the worst thing that can happen. But that would be my kind of bad news silver lining for the week.
Rest in peace, Kira. Just kind of goes to show that it's always bigger than sports. That's it for tonight for Tomahawk Talk. We will be back here next Monday. Check out the Graveyard Shift wherever you get your podcasts. Follow V89 Sports on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and now YouTube. Check out our website with all of our writing and photography. Have a great week. And as always, from my co-host, Cole Kruger, tonight's panelists, Will McBroom, Trey Pope, and Francisco Garcia, I'm your host, Gia Ciaccio, and you've been listening to WVFS Tallahassee, the voice of Florida State.